The quickest way to get started in learning PredictK and set up a project is using the Quick Entry option. This training video will walk you through the Quick Entry process and explain how PredictK sets up treatments based on your inputs. After opening PredictK, the first thing you will always need to do is click on an analysis mode. I normally use production mode, but for this exercise, any of the four modes will work. Next, click on Quick Entry to start the process. The Quick Entry screen will walk you through a series of 8 tabs that contain most of the inputs needed to run PredictK. The first tab is Well Type. It contains only 2 choices, orientation and produced fluid. Orientation will only matter if you are running the production or optimized modes, and can be either vertical or horizontal. This choice should be fairly straightforward and will affect much of what you see from this point forward. For this exercise, we will keep vertical selected. The produced fluid will either be oil or gas, and will affect the result of every analysis mode except for baseline connectivity. Once again, we will stay on the default of gas. The Analysis Section tab controls how treatments will be created in PredictK. Unchecking an analysis type will cause PredictK to skip the setup for that analysis mode. When you check and uncheck the boxes, some of the tabs will disappear. This will slightly accelerate the Quick Entry process, but the compromise is that the treatments will not be copied to those modes if you decide to use them later. Since the entire Quick Entry process only takes a minute or two, it is generally better to leave all of the boxes checked. The base treatment name will be used for the first part of the treatment name for all of the treatments that PredictK creates. The check boxes below this entry section will allow PredictK to append the proppant or fluid name to the end of that base treatment name. If the proppant and fluid type aren't the main variables in question, you can uncheck these boxes. The treatment names can be changed to something more descriptive later if desired. For baseline and dynamic connectivity analysis, you can include a range of proppant connectivities. For this exercise, we will not do that. For the next 3 tabs, Well Information, Dynamic Analysis Properties, and Production Analysis Properties, I'm going to leave everything at the default values. Other videos will discuss the variables and content of these 3 tabs in more detail. The Optimize tab controls whether well spacing or stage spacing will be considered as the optimization variable. Once a selection is made, PredictK will group treatments according to that variable. In Optimize mode, PredictK will display graphs for each stage or well spacing showing the optimal frac length or frac spacing for that scenario. You can choose between frac length and frac spacing by checking the appropriate box. For all entries on this screen, you will select the minimum and maximum value and step size for this value to control the number of treatments created. To complete the Quick Entry process, you will need to select the proppants and the fluids that you would like to use in your simulation. At least one proppant and one fluid must be chosen. For this exercise, it doesn't matter which or how many proppants and fluids are chosen. After all of this is complete, click the OK button, and PredictK will create treatments matching each proppant with each fluid in all the analysis modes you selected on the second tab. PredictK will also give these treatments a default name. These names are only entered during the Quick Entry process to protect future manual name changes that are frequently made. This means if you change any properties of the treatment later, you may need to change the treatment name. One large advantage to using Quick Entry is that the separate treatments are linked across all of the analysis modes. In other words, if you change the proppant, fluid, treatment name, treatment name, or any other treatment property in one analysis mode, such as production mode, the change will automatically be copied to the corresponding treatments in the other mode. You should now be able to use the Quick Entry feature on your own and continue working in PredictK. Thank you for viewing this training session on how to use the Quick Entry feature of PredictK, and feel free to contact me at steven.driley@corelab.com if you have any questions about how to use or obtain access to PredictK.